Hi, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the Global Director of Content at Informa Pharma Insights, and I'm here at the Biotech Showcase in San Francisco. This is a meeting that runs parallel with the JP Morgan meeting, which of course is where the great and the good, the movers and the shakers of pharma, medtech and biotech congregate each year to basically do deals, talk to their investors, etc. So I'm joined by Konrad Glund, who's the CEO of Probiodrug, which is a company which is focusing on the Alzheimer's space. Now, we hear that Alzheimer's is clearly one of those areas of unmet medical need. It's something that personally scares me, and yet it's not totally sure. People aren't necessarily sure of actually how we can treat Alzheimer's. There's lots of different hypotheses. One of them is you might sort of consider it to be rudely labeled the beta amyloid hypothesis. So Konrad, could you sort of tell us what your approach is and why you think that that's the approach that is worth pursuing?
Okay, so the company is focusing on an A-beta program. It follows the A-beta hypothesis. This hypothesis is neither fully proven nor is it disproven. We have a lot of arguments from a Biogen trial with an antibody called aducanumab, which encourages the A-beta hypothesis together with other scientific results. We have developed a differentiated approach which is based on a modified A-beta, and the company has discovered the enzyme which makes the modification. To a bit touch the terminology, the modified A-beta is called pyroglu-Abeta. It's a modification at the N-terminus, and the enzyme cyclases an N-terminal glutamate, rendering the normal A-beta very highly phobic and aggregatable. And that is what it brings it into the disease. The modified A-beta is involved in the initiation and progression of the disease by starting to aggregate with itself and with others. And these so-called soluble A-beta oligomers are the toxic species, which leads to a impairment of synaptic function and later to the death of the neurons. And we tackle that with two mechanisms. One is having the enzyme available. We have developed inhibitors against the enzyme, thus prevent the modification. And the small molecule inhibitor of this enzyme is now in a Phase IIa study. The complementary approach is a very specific monoclonal antibody which promotes clearance of the modified A-beta, and this is preclinical.
Right, okay. And would you sort of anticipate that actually, both approaches could be used in a combination? One, you try and prevent the creation in the first place, but actually those that get through can then be cleared out by the monoclonal.
Yeah, that could be a very logical approach. We need to see the effect clinically of each of these approaches, but we are also looking, of course, for combining them or combining these elements with other mechanisms. And there is research out, for instance, combining the specific antibody with a BACE inhibitor and seeing a very good effect with respect to lowering A-beta in animal models.
Right. So the sort of the concept of sort of targeting the or inhibiting the enzyme, where did that idea first bear fruit?
Probiodrug was founded as a spin-out. The first program has been in diabetes on the DPP4 inhibitors, and this is a big class of drugs just now, the gliptins, and the company laid the basis. Is the work of the co-founder of the company, Hans-Ulrich Demuth, where we filed the basic patents for this. And this program we are speaking here comes also from own research and bringing it from scratch to the current stage. So it's nothing I in-license, it is the classical biotech way, bring good research results and transform them into products.
Right. So remind me, the small molecule, you said it's in phase two trials at the moment, and so what's the sort of the timetable for that trial to complete?
This compound has passed the preclinical phase and an extensive phase 1, where we generated a lot of data on the kinetics, on the enzyme inhibition and all that, and we have brought it now into patients in a 2A study in Europe. The study is ongoing, and we expect to report results in the second half of this year.
Okay. And at that point, you will then make the decision about whether you're going to go into phase 3 or not. Would you be doing that on your own, or would you be looking for a partner? Because you mentioned about being a classic biotech. The classic biotech model is get the proof of concept studies out of the way, and then find a partner.
Yeah. I mean, the business concept is what you just said. Bring data, increase the value of the company for the shareholders, and then get in collaboration with Pharma, whatever the collaboration could be. There are several models, and we speak to Pharma. We prepare for that on the one side. On the other side, we are prepared to even go a bit farther, not too depending from a deal, but that's business. These are business decisions. In general, we will follow that rule. And if you look at the big phase 3 trials currently undergoing, these are thousands of patients and 3-digit millions of dollars which go in as an investment.
Right. And the monoclonal, what's the sort of the sort of timeline for that development?
With the monoclonal, we are in preclinical development. We are currently manufacturing. It will follow tox, and we expect early 2017 to go into clinics with this monoclonal antibody. And we follow there, let me say that we follow there Lilly, who has a similar specific monoclonal antibody in a phase 1 study.
Right. Last year, I mean, you guys are on the Euronext in Amsterdam, and you did a follow-on financing last year. Remind me, how much did you raise?
We raised 13 million last year as a follow-on.
Right, euros.
In euros, yeah, and we made the IPO at the end of 2014.
Right.
And so this was a follow-on to the IPO.
So you mentioned the fact that potentially running a clinical trial at a phase 3 one would be really, really expensive. Do you have the financial muscle to be able to complete these clinical developments on your own?
For what we have currently in front of us and what we plan short term, that's an extension of the treatment duration. We are financed to do that. We of course not financed finally to execute it to the end. This is subject to further financing, but the being a public company now, having access to a completely new sort of investors gives us the possibility to raise more money.
So on the follow-on, and also the IPO, which is only just over 12 months gone. In the documents where it sort of says use of proceeds, what was it that you said to investors and potential investors you were actually going to use that money for?
In general, we execute on what we said. It's the initiation of the trial, what we did. It's the conduction of the trial. It is the starting or progressing the antibody, bringing it into a manufacturing state, and also progressing the follow-on to the stage we are just now. And that is the use of proceeds, and it's also preparing for the next clinical trial.
Right. And you're here at this meeting, and as I said in my preamble, it's thousands and thousands of business executives from sort of the global biotech, pharmatech, medtech industries are here. What kind of people are you looking to reach out to at these meetings?
I mean, year by year, this is an excellent opportunity here because everybody is here. We speak to funds, to investors, we speak to analysts, to investment banks, and we have business development meetings with Pharma. And this gives us a full schedule over 3-4 days.
So it's a showcase both for the investment community and also for your business partners and potential business partners. Great. Well, Konrad, thanks for stopping by and basically updating us on your progress.
Thanks.